welcome back, everybody. Nexus podcast number 9. We have Ali, who has been in the Nexus now for about 2 months. Welcome, Ali. We have Dak also joining us today.
Hello, everyone.
Ali,
Today we decided to do kind of a different episode. We needed someone who's a little newer to the Nexus, just so we can get a perspective of one of the fresh members coming in, someone going through the journey right now, instead of someone who's already experienced.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me on this podcast and having interest on my point of view. But I'm really happy to be here. Right? It's been about 2 months since I joined the Nexus, and it's an amazing experience. I've been trading in crypto since about more than a year, a little bit more than a year, and I can comfortably say I learned the most in these 2 months. In these 2 months, I learned more than the whole year I had. You really have a profound target on the Nexus. You have objectives you have to finish, right? You have the strategy clearly put out. You don't just swing from the hip, trying every strategy there is. No, everyone is really coordinated. Everyone is trading similarly, and you do get the practice in. From my point of view, I learned the strategy they're using in 2 months, 2 weeks, because it's explained very well, and the program is really well set up. The community are very friendly, from Kenny to Dak to all the others. Everyone is really friendly and helpful, very helpful. Whatever question that comes up, you get the answer straight away. It's really amazing. I'm thankful to be here.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and obviously we're very happy that the experience has been great for you so far. So, what do you do in your day to day? What do you go through your routine? What's your routine?
My routine when it comes to my job is not fixed, because I work as a security. I am a contractor, security contractor. I basically get sent out to watch companies at night, sit at the office, specific offices in companies, and watch the cameras and the systems, security systems, and just responsibly sit there whenever something happens. Usually nothing happens.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of free time during my shifts at work, because that's how the job is. You just have to be there when something happens, There is no specific tasks you have to do, just a little bit maybe sometimes. But overall, I'm currently working as a security. I worked also as a mechanic for 2 years, car mechanic. I worked as an electrician as well for also about 2 years. I've done a couple of jobs, right? But currently I'm at the security job, which gives me the opportunity to kind of gain more knowledge, read books and all of that.
Yeah, so that's you kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask you, how do you tie in trading and learning with your current occupation?
I would even argue that I am not working as a security man. I'm more like a working as a trader, because the majority of the time you'll find me just sat at my laptop, and scrolling through the trading view, the content on the Nexus, or at that time I'm really busy with indicators, trying to dig into indicators and see the numbers behind the screen. It's really interesting, the whole code and how it works, the calculations behind it. And you really do have time, in my job, and I'm thankful for that. I think I got lucky, but at the same time I searched for a job like that. When I decided to dedicate a good chunk of my time for trading, I searched for the right job, and thankfully I found it.
Yeah, Ali has been writing a little bit of code here and there in we've been doing some code work in the lounge, and we're not going to say exactly what the details are of that. We'll save that for the Nexus. But
I was gonna ask you, Kenny, because in private you told me that you guys were working on that, so I was just curious as to what that's about.
Well, it has something to do with an indicator that has been around for a while. And we improved on it drastically. So we did a complete overhaul of it. And so a lot of the guys in the Nexus have now received it, and they're enjoying it so far. They really like it. So we've improved on it immensely. We kind of updated all the code. We updated it to the times right now, so and he's also coming up with a strategy with the code, and then we come up with a strategy for a different type of code too. So we're kind of in the early stages the last couple of weeks, and it's the strategy maybe about a week ago had what was it, a 50% win rate, Ali?
Yes,
Oh.
with a 2-to-1 risk to reward.
Yeah.
It's about 51%, and the return was 41%. On the capital.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
it's a
insane.
nice one.
Yeah. So we didn't get a lot of trades. I think we had 105 trades or something like that. I can't go back super far. My premium trading view only goes back 4,000 bars, so it gave us 105 trades or so. But it's building. It's building up.
I mean, it's a sizable amount.
Yeah.
Like,
if it was 1,000
like 10 trades.
If we had 1,000 trades, it would, and we were 50% win rate.
Yeah.
And
The sample would be accurate.
Yeah.
The more trades, the better the accuracy is of the sample.
Right.
But you have to also keep in mind that the strategy is also not completely optimized, right? Like there was a lot of mistakes you can see. Even with this return and win rate, there was a lot of trades where it's just there is not enough filters to let it leave some trades out. So it would maybe like open a trade against the trend. And we're kind of working on that. We're still like in development stage, but I would say for testing the waters, we had some good numbers.
Yeah. I think that's our next code challenge, is entering a trend, trend for the 4-hour, trend for the daily. And I think once we get the 4-hour and daily trend set, I think we'll be good to go. I think we'll start really testing and just let it run for maybe a couple of months and see how many trades we can get. And if we stay right, I want to get up to about a 60-70% win rate. I don't know if that's going to work or if it's going to happen.
With a 2-to-1, that's going to be, that's actually going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Incredibly crazy. You'd be on the top 10 traders of the world if you got the 70% win rate with 2-to-1.
Yeah, just off one indicator, that's going to be mental.
I know. But we'll see. But just in the short period of time, I think if we add the 4-hour and the daily trend, I think we'll really, we could probably get up to 60. Yeah, we can improve on it for sure. But
we aim for the stars, and it's okay if we land on the moon.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
what about recently? Tell us about your latest trades. What do you think of the current market conditions we have with Trump, tariffs, everything?
Well,
God, I ask everyone that question.
Yeah.
It's a good one, to be honest. And I really I can't really tell you how it is. It's really possible that we are just in a range. We are at a very, very extended push to the upside. Like we've been going up. There has to be a pullback at some point, right? Since the big drop, and then we started going up from 75,000, right? We didn't even retrace to any Fibonacci level. So look, you could say, there is more space to the upside, more place for the upside. But if you look at it from a range perspective, there is way more area for the downside than the upside, especially when we didn't have a pullback until now.
For sure. And I think with a current market cycle, not conditions, more like cycle, when we broke the actual 4-year cycle, well, in my opinion, at least, we broke it. It's kind of hard to tell whether we're gonna have a good top right now, or we're gonna put on another one and another one. It's kind of difficult. I think most can agree, and most experienced traders also can agree that um, it's unlike any other cycle. It's so difficult to tell,
Mhm.
even
Yeah, no,
looking
we
back.
definitely lost the 4-year cycle kind of repetition. You know, we don't follow history anymore, at least until now. Like there is no signs of us kind of attaching ourselves to the 4-year cycles. It's more like there is more evidence that Bitcoin is becoming independent. You know, and just like gold and other assets, it's becoming
Yeah.
independent from the whole 4-year cycle. And
Well, we do have
I can
I think 4 years is coming up in roughly September, October, November, December, the end of this year. So
So we're gonna see, yeah.
that is something that we need to see here in the coming end of this year, and it's going to come up quick. It's already summertime, so we have another 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months
We're
of
already
this.
halfway into 2025. We
Yeah,
haven't even realized it yet.
yeah, we're halfway to Christmas.
So yeah, I was gonna say about correlation between Bitcoin and stuff. Since you mentioned it, I've been paying very close attention to Bitcoin versus the dollar, specifically the DXY, um, and it's kind of just doing its own thing. It's been so out of, I mean, so not correlated. I don't know what the word for it is, but it's been so not correlated with DXY for quite a while now, and it's kind of throwing me off because that's the one I usually used to look at. But now I've kind of switched over to USDT dominance over that, and it's been working pretty well. And I think all of the Nexus looking at USDT dominance is kind of helping with that as well. Well, me personally.
Yeah, USDT dominance has definitely been one of those indicators, if you want to call it that, that will give us that edge to be able to get into our positions. I think with Bitcoin the way it's running right now, and we'll probably see all-time highs. I mean, crap, we're at 110K right now. We've pumped $8,000, $10,000 in what?
In like a couple of days.
Yeah, a couple of days. So
We dropped to 100 and now we're back up.
yep, we front ran 100K. We went up. We dropped to 100.3, and we're back up to 110. So, what do you think, Ollie? Where do you think we go from here? Where we're at right now?
yeah, like I said, like there is space for the upside. There is a range for the upside. You have about until 130,000, 18%, right? If you have a trade opportunity open for you, open it and let it run. But in let's say a longer term perspective, I would just wait. This will unfold itself in a couple of weeks. We're approaching July, and usually July is kind of a downtrend. Everyone is going on summer vacations, and the
Yeah.
market is just left. It's usually like the
That's kind
summer
of
is kind of a drop. We skipped on the May, sell May and walk away. That
Right.
has been skipped, right? So
that never happened.
you should just watch out a little bit. You should watch out a little bit with the trades you take, and not like not be too convicted that it's gonna push too high or it's gonna reach 500,000 in this year. It's gonna take its time, I think it would be more healthy for it to have a pullback, and it's at the same time, I would argue against myself that Bitcoin has shown resistance, resilience. It has held itself up, while the last drop was significant for the traditional markets. Bitcoin kept itself above, above the sea level, let's say, right? It didn't drown.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it should have gone, to 50K territory, where it should have gone back to the old range we had last year. It didn't. It kept itself above it, and that's a really, really strong indication.
We front ran.
It was a big surprise as well because the SPX has dropped like to 4-year lows, I think, maybe more. And
Yes. So
You don't usually get these.
Yes, exactly.
That's so
It was
rare.
like
It's so rare.
it was like a once in 10
Surprise.
times, 10 years kind of thing. You know, the S&P dropped
Yeah.
like continuously. You know, it was measured that the last time this happened was in the 1990s or something, right? Like there was like a continuous 3 days kind of drop after drop after drop, and then yeah, it was biggest one of the biggest drops, right, that happened.
I think it was the biggest
market
the biggest
declines.
daily drop, in history, something like that. The biggest red candle percentage. Yeah, then we just stopped and it quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just reversed. The monthly candle on the S&P looks really goofy.
I didn't even see what we did today in equity markets, so I can't even.
I think they closed up. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I have like notifications on X from one account I follow for traditional market news, and I think they posted that the markets closed slightly up today.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. We're in an interesting spot right now, that's for sure. With the retrace from the drop, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here, where we're at currently. So I don't know. Bitcoin follows stocks, and it has. So let's see if it decorrelate. If stocks are going to start dropping, is it going to decorrelate and keep running, or are we going to drop with it? Or is Bitcoin going to?
At the time of recording, we also have the China-US trade deal details tomorrow again. They were talking in London today. We have more talks tomorrow from what I saw. But we also are going into CPI and PPI news later this week, and I think that's going to be the main deciding factor. I had a scenario in which we pumped. I don't know if it was to all-time high or not. I can't really tell that, but I had a scenario where we pumped and then we dropped on news that there's not going to be rate cuts again. At least that's my opinion on it as of now. We're going to see what we get during the week.
Right. I don't think they're going to cut rates. I don't think they're going to cut rates at all for the foreseeable future. They could do at the end of the year, but I don't think they're going to. They have no reason to cut rates, in my opinion. So that's my take on it. It's a bummer for a lot of people.
Trump's pushing for it really hard, but I think he's not going to get what he wants yet. He's probably going to have to push Powell out if he wants to get rate cuts.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Because Powell's holding his ground. He's really holding his ground well against Trump, I have to say. I didn't expect him to hold out so well.
Yeah, and he cannot just swing the rate cuts in the face of uncertainty. You know, that never happened in history. That when the markets were uncertain or there was something uncertain, like the tariffs. Tariffs is a big uncertainty. You know, there is no. Well, now it hasn't been fixed yet. You know, and Pavel cannot just cut the rate cuts. Cut rate and just swing it. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, just go about their day.
Well, the market is showing signs that we don't need a rate cut right now. The markets look strong. So I think previous rate cuts within previous cycle years, we had the markets were dumping and everything. The outlook was terrible. So to combat that, they cut rates. And so I don't think that's going to happen.
There's no sign for that yet. So
no.
Maybe if we get like a sell-off in the summer, maybe after that. I think.
Or we get some sort of war, some sort of war.
Yeah, that could.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not, but
yeah,
can never know about that.
Right. So we'll see what happens.
Interesting stuff happening lately. Elon broke up with Trump as well. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. Well,
I posted like a joke about it.
No, Trump's ex, Trump's baby mama, made a tweet. Trump, do you need advice on breakup? That was funny to watch. Yes. So It's basically about the bill that Trump made. The bill that Trump pushed forward.
Yeah.
Whilst they were trying to save, and cut spending because of the debt. Trump just made a bill that you pay less taxes. The rich get to pay also less taxes. The richer category can pay less taxes. It doesn't increase; it decreases, and that's a big thing. You're basically making it worse for yourself at this
Yeah.
point. Like you're not even if Doge, Department of Efficiency,
Department of
um,
Government Efficiency. Yeah.
exactly. Even if they are saving, which they would be like saving what was it, like a couple of billions, while spending is at trillions. Okay?
Still not a sizable
He
difference.
Yeah. So the bill he pushed forward basically increases the debt, which is a major problem. The current rate on the debt USA has is 2 trillion, right? Which is a
Yeah.
problem. It's 2 trillions, and you have the military. The military spending is 1 trillion. You see what you have here,
Yeah.
It's basically like topping off everything, and that's only the rate for the debt that the USA took. And so I'm really on Elon's side on this kind of point of view, because you can't really say that you want to kind of reduce spending, but you do the opposite, and at the same time you have to also look out that Trump is a politic. And if he actually went with the plan of reducing spending, he would look like a bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
When you reduce spending, you kind of affecting the whole country. It's a painful process that everyone will get on. Right? You cannot get away with it and be the good guy at the end when you reduce the spending. And so, from Trump point of view, it's just politics.
Yeah, some people
Yeah,
were
and as
saying,
someone who's living there right now, like, what do you think about the bill in general? And do you think it's a good thing?
I haven't really kept
How
up.
does it affect?
I haven't kept up with the bill portion of their argument. But what some people are saying is that this is some kind of little hoax and little game between them, where behind the scenes they're still talking, they're good friends, but it's got something to do with the whole Epstein files, and Trump is supposedly
believe that.
Trump is in the Epstein files, and which I don't have any. I don't have anything to say about that. Who knows if he is or he isn't? But that basically what they're trying to do is to get the Democrats to say release the files, where they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, and they're just playing this whole game between the Democrats. And so whether or not that's true or not, I guess remains to be seen. But if it's a whole game that they're playing with these people that are on the list and these high-powered politicians, then I guess maybe we'll find out here pretty soon. But it just seems like 5-year-olds fighting, and it's
Yeah.
uncalled for. It really is. It's kind of retarded, so I don't know. I don't agree with it one bit. So we'll see what happens.
The whole argument they had on X the other day was just so childish.
Mhm.
It was entertaining for me, who I'm not living there, but if I was living in the US right now, I'd be a bit like on edge. Like
Yeah.
the most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world are going at it on social media like kids. That's it's kind of concerning,
It doesn't
It's
really.
disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing. It doesn't really affect our daily lives. We still go about everything, and
I mean, yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
two a trillionaire and a billionaire. One of them's our president. Are keyboard Rambos to each other, and they're just being childish, and that's pretty much all it is. So I don't really. Who knows what their motives are? It could be something, like I said, with the Epstein files, and the Democrats want them to be released. which might shoot a lot of people
Could be.
in the
Yeah.
foot. So we'll see. Who knows? It's entertainment at its finest right now, though.
But we had a good thing out of it, is that Bitcoin didn't actually react that much to that whole thing. The whole Trump and Elon fight, right? That shows real good maturity in the chart, to be honest.
Had a little drop, but yeah. In general, you're right.
But that began before the Trump and Elon fight, or
Only accelerated.
am
Only
I mistaken over
accelerated
here?
after the feud a little bit, and then it just stopped. Kind of
Hmm.
short of 100K, like we said before.
Oh man, we front ran it.
Man, I should have.
Yeah,
I had a couple positions open at that low, and then I was like, "Damn, this is looking bad." I close out, and then it just started going up constantly. I'm like, "Okay, whatever. We'll get
that's the
another one."
biggest problem with even numbers, right? That the
Yeah,
charts will never reach even numbers, especially on a knife. When a
It
knife is falling, you'll never get like 100K and then it goes up. No, it will go up before it.
it SFP'd
It's something I learned in the hard way.
It SFP'd a beautiful level and then just said, "See you later." We hit a weekly fair value gap, and
yeah, for real.
I couldn't believe we ended there, but we did. It makes sense.
Speaking of positions, though, I did something today that I'm not very proud of that I posted on X, which is I was watching Ethereum like 2 hours ago, I think. I was watching Ethereum and it just kept going up and up and up, and I wanted so desperately to get into a position and just sat down for 1 hour scalping the 1 minute. Was it top blasting? It was top blasting. I'm not proud of it, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's just intuition. Like you can see something, you can see like an asset, and it just keeps going and going, and you have that thing in your brain where you're like, it's gonna keep going. The way I see it, and when you see those full 1 to 3 minute candles, and there's not many wicks, at some point you're like, yeah, this is looking good and it's approaching a level, so it could go. That's my logic. That was my logic today, but to be
It,
fair, it was stupid
it
to
worked.
long that high up.
It
It
worked.
worked, yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah, and it's still going up as I'm watching the charts as we're talking. I'm watching the market, and
Oh, is it?
oh yeah, bro, it's still going up. It's at 20. It got up to 20. We hit an order block, so it's kind of taken a little bit of a breather, but it's at 2690 right now.
2690.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it at like 2660. Yeah. Maybe I should have kept those longs open.
Should have.
Should have, could have, whatever. The saying is, anyway. At the end of the day, we got paid, so that's all that
That's
matters.
right. That's all that matters.
That's the most important thing.
I think a lot of people don't realize that getting some profits or being at break even is way better than being at a loss. It's
Exactly.
a big mental struggle for a lot.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Me?
I think a lot of people underestimate the break-even trader because you're actually not losing your money. You're not doing anything wrong, but at the same time, you're not doing a lot of right. So you're kind of at the edge when you are a break-even trader.
Yeah.
No, I'm either losing or I'm winning. That's it for me. I can't do break even.
It reminded me of DJ Khaled. He said, "I'm only winning."
Yep.
With he had that clip with Aston Hall. He's like, I'm never losing weight because I never lose. And it just reminded me of this. Like, people don't realize this. Memes and jokes aside, people don't realize that being constantly at break even or outside of the market when you're not sure is way better than anything else. Like Geo says as well, taking a trade, not taking a trade is also taking a trade.
Yeah, being in
And I
cash, you're in a
think
position. You're still in a
yeah,
position when you're in cash. It's
it's
just
very
not.
underestimated
Yeah, you're not in
in risk.
any sort of risk. You're in a position of cash. And
Yeah.
so I tell that to a lot of people. If you miss
Mhm.
the move, then don't worry, you're still in a position. But a lot of people
Just
like to be
wait
in a
and see.
position, and that's where they get
Mhm.
wrecked. You get in, they have FOMO, and I think Dak felt a little bit of FOMO today. He needed to be in a trade.
Oh yeah, 100, 1000%. I wanted to be in a trade so badly because I didn't get my long from today. It didn't retrace as deep as I wanted it to go,
Yeah.
and then it just went. And I saw it, and I'm like, damn, I gotta get something here. And then I realized it was a bad decision. I closed, and then a minute later, started started to go again, and I go in again, and it worked. And it's just a mess.
Oh, bro.
It's just a fucking mess today.
It was a messy day of trading. Yeah.
It's a messy day for trading almost every day. It seems these past few months. Some days are clear, but in general, with all the uncertainty we have now, it's so messy all of the time, or most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
we
yeah,
were,
I think we had like a good run today.
I think so.
I want to thank you, Ali, for coming on and
Me
having a
as well.
conversation with us. And yeah, if you have anything else to say, now would be a good time. And then
Well,
we
like I
can.
said at the beginning, I am also very thankful for you guys and your invitation on this amazing podcast. Right? It's really interesting. And this is actually my first ever podcast. It's really interesting. And special thank yous to Gio, of course, because I watched a lot of his content, man. I watched hours of his content about the market cipher, about the whole strategy, and I also want to thank the whole Nexus in general, everyone, whoever you ask, they will always answer. Very helpful people, very nice people, interesting people as well. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you as well.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for the
coming
kind
on.
words and thank you for being part of the Nexus podcast today. So, any social medias you want shared or anything?
Well, you'll find me at Nexus Discord with Kenny. Okay. If you're at the Nexus and watching this, guys, keep us updated. Keep us give us feedback on the tools you receive. Okay, and the indicator, please, that would help. Right. But you'll find me at the Nexus.
Great. Check out all of our social media down below. I'm gonna have everything linked there. Kenny's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Jet's gonna be. Gio's gonna be there. And yeah, that's about it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we're gonna see you next time for episode 10 of the Nexus podcast.
Thank you very much.